Alrighty, so today we're going to start off class by taking a look at a program for a back day, and then we will get into how you can start doing some basic calculations for your clients. Now, so here's my back day that I did this morning. First, when I say back day, what am I making reference to?
A pull day?
What's that?
A pull day?
Yes.
Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. So pull day. And so what are the main muscles working when I do a pull?
Posterior delts, lats. Or like getting.
Yeah. Those are all correct. One other group I'm looking for.
Nice.
Good. Yeah, those are the ones that the main groups that we're looking at. So bros in the gym will classify a back day as back and biceps, of which we will typically do back for 3 to 5 exercises and then 3 to 5 exercises of biceps. Very common to see 3 by 10 as your rep scheme, with anywhere from 9 to as many as 20 plus sets. A working set is when you go to your desired rep range. RIR is reps in reserve. That is more of a plan for those who maybe are a little more advanced, trying to get total volume. When we look at the king of hypertrophy, the mechanisms of hypertrophy are tension, stress, and damage. And so when we look at the 3 most important things, VFI, what does VFI stand for? Those are the acute variables.
Volume, frequency, and intensity.
Good. So what's our total sets? How many days a week are you doing it? And what is that intensity like? So here is the back workout. So first, a couple things I want to just look at, little things. So you notice how I put my foot down and I pulled back. Those are experience techniques where if you have this is called a jungle gym. And so this is a cable row. Can you see? That's a lat pull down. And then on the right side over here, I have tricep extension. In the middle, I would have pull-ups. And on the other side, I pretty much have a mirror window. What they're doing now is they're playing around with the pulleys. And so this is a single pulley system. So think of one pulley as like one joint. So it's a lot more stress. Whereas the other side, it's 2 pulleys. So it's like doing a bench press. So there's a lot more stress on your chest by doing a chest fly versus a bench press. So these are really, really nice pieces of equipment, especially Lifetime Fitness. Your ballpark for this is between $15,000 to $20,000 without an install. Install can sometimes be as much as $5,000 plus. So these are really nice pieces of equipment. I love going to Equinox strictly for access to the machines. And so here I'm doing a cable row. Now I want you to look at the different, and I'm not going to explain this today. I just want to put this in your head for a thought. Katie will be doing that in the programming call later on today, but this is 2 different exercises. So notice how there's 3. And the next one, can you tell me the difference? What's the main difference that you see? Anyone? These are 2 different accessories, and I did 3 sets, 5, 3, 1. So this means this is my second set here because I only do 3. Now, when you see these rep ranges, what is my rest period?
Longer.
A lot longer. And so a couple different things as the trainer, which you can do if you have a client who's more advanced and they want to go this heavy and you under 5 reps, it's your strength range, 85 to 100% of your 1 rep max. You can add in antagonistic exercises, lower body exercises, core exercises, muscles that won't compromise the integrity of this lift. So doing a push-up would be fine to do next. Doing some jumps would be okay. My warm-up for today was I went into the gym. It's empty at 5 o'clock, so that's what time this Equinox opens. I go put my shit away and go out there. I just kind of walk around for a little bit to see what's going on. And then I've had a little T, probably 6 stiffness. And so Dr. Waterbury, who's one of our board members, he's a licensed therapist. He's given me some rehab exercises to do for that area. So I got a lacrosse ball, put it there, and just rolled around on it for a good 30 seconds while I'm doing some of this. And then I did some band pull aparts, maybe took a minute or 2. And then I went into my first set. And so this is 220 pounds. The very first set I think I did was 60 or 80, very, very light. I'm just going through the mechanics and I'm getting just doing that. And then behind me right here, there's a large aerobics room. So then I walk around in there and I think, okay, what am I going to do today? What's my first call on? What are the topics we're going to go over? What about my NASM thing I have to do later on? So I'm just, in my mind, I'm getting ready for the day. I have my phone out. And so when it hits 3 minutes, I'll go back in there and I'll do my second set. So how I train myself is different than I train my clients, but we're smart enough to know that we can just make adjustments and add stuff in there. So 3 sets, 5, 3, 1. And then this is my first set of wide grip. So I actually did 3 reps, but the weight is 20 pounds lighter. So it's a total of 6 sets, not that much volume right here. So you have a total of 6 sets, but if you look at my total volume, 9 reps, 14, 17 reps. So 26 reps total, not that much. So when we look at the mechanisms of hypertrophy, total tension, big driver, yes. But then you have damage and then you have stress. Stress is the least important. But damage, I don't get a lot of damage from lifting a large amount of weight. Strength is more neurological. You're going to improve your strength by going heavy like this dramatically, but there's not going to be a ton of hypertrophy because you're not creating a lot of damage and a lot of stress, a lot of tension on the muscle. So then this probably took me about 20, 25 minutes, these first 6 sets. Then I get into more volume. And so here you'll see, what is the name of this exercise?
A lat pull down.
Yep. And so you can see that whole area in there. It's just nice to go in there and think. Now, technically speaking, textbook, if you were to, for whatever reason, get a cert and they were to ask you the lat pull down, what plane of motion would the answer be?
Frontal.
Technically, yes, but we're smart and it's not frontal. Why is it not frontal?
Is it the way your elbows are positioned when you do the exercise?
You're correct. You're looking at my elbows, but what is my humerus doing? So watch my humerus when I'm doing this exercise. See that ending position? It's in the horizon. It's in the horizontal plane. So this would be a horizontal abduction, which would be more mid-back. Notice how I have an arch. It's a thoracic arch, which is perfectly fine. My lumbar is supported. And so I do, this is called a waterfall set. The waterfall set means the first set I go heavier. I don't need to warm up because I just did 6 sets. So I put on a weight that I can do 6 times. Then I rest a little bit. Then I go for 12 and then I hit 13 and 13. What I was doing between sets though, is I would hop on over here to the treadmill and I would do some hill sprints. Now, as we go through week to week, I'll get more advanced. And this is technically the 2nd or 3rd week for shoulder. And so I start getting more advanced with like injuries and I'm a fucking mess. And so it's always great to learn about how to fix grist because you guys can not make the mistakes, but that's honestly one of the selfish reasons why I work with so many therapists, because one, it makes our board look a lot better, but I'm always picking their brain on how to help myself. So does anyone know why running at an incline from an injury perspective, why it's advantageous? What area of the body it puts less stress on for those that have a type of injury?
The ankle.
It may, but this is not what I'm going at.
The knees.
Nope. The muscle group has an impact on the knees, but it's not because of the knees. You are correct, though, Keith. It has less impact on the knees.
The low back.
Nope.
Your heel.
Nope. It's a specific muscle group.
The hamstrings?
Good.
Yeah.
So you know the difference between a sprain and a strain. Can you tell me?
Strain is tendon. Its sprain is ligament.
Good. And so a tendon is connecting what?
Bone to muscle.
Good. So one of the worst injuries you can get, this is therapists who I talk to, and obviously I'm not talking about like breaking C1, C2, because obviously that would be terrible. When it comes to like athletic injuries, overall, one of the worst ones you can get is an Achilles rupture. There's a guy, I don't know, was it Villanova? I don't know. Was it, I think it might've been, Helen, you can chime in on that one, but
Yes,
it was him?
Justin
Okay.
Moore.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So he ruptured his Achilles. That sucker takes a long time to heal because of the gastroc and the soleus. They are your only plantar flexors. And so they go into your calcaneus, which is your heel bone, via the Achilles tendon. So when that ruptures, you cannot plantar flex. And so that's a really nasty injury. But a proximal hamstring strain is really nasty. And what does that mean, a proximal hamstring strain?
Strain on the hamstring closer to the glutes.
Good. So closer to the origin, that little bone, your butt bone, is called your ischial tuberosity. That's where your semis and your bicep originate. And so I think probably maybe early June, late May of last year, I strained approximately my hamstring. And I would say that today I'm at like 85, maybe 90% heal. Where like even like today I was running and it's significantly better, but there's still like I'm not doing it 100% really getting after it. I'm just doing some exercise or some sprints at an incline because it's less stress on your hamstrings for the recycling and your gait pattern for a sprint. And so my hamstrings are not going to be put in that lengthened position, which puts a lot of stress on them, makes them vulnerable. So you put it at an incline, then at least you can get some work done. I actually love running. I love sprinting. I have a background in track as a strength coach. I've worked with a lot of jumpers and sprinters, but that's disheartening to me. The number one thing is when it hurts your shoulder because you can't bench, and I've had that before. But hamstring injuries are just anything lower body that takes away from sprinting and jumping. So it's been a process, but what I'll do is I'll put it at an incline of like the first set was 5, and then I ran it 6 miles per hour. I'll do that for a minute, and then I'll go right back to the lat pull down. So there's no rest involved. So this is like moderate weight. So I do it for 12, and then I'll just walk on over, and then it's nice because I can just push stop, and the machine doesn't like reset. So I can just come right back, and I go back and forth. And I did that for a good, I think I did about 8 to 10 rounds today. And so then after I did 4 sets here, then I went into isolation, and then I would do these banded ones. And this isn't optimal. This is just the equipment that I have. I found a black band. I would prefer like the green ones, and I prefer to be in a tall kneeling position, half kneeling position, which would be like a lunge, because then my humerus can flex more. The greater it flexes, the more range of motion I'll get from my lats. So this is kind of a half-assed range of motion, but it still works. And it's kind of hard to see, my triceps aren't absolutely jacked, but my triceps are working. They're hard. The long head of the tricep extends. And so it's a single jointed exercise. I'm working on sets of 15 to 30. I did 5 rounds of this at the end. And that's really just to get the burn of the lats. So when you look at my total workout, tension in the beginning, and that's going to be a sagittal pull or a horizontal pull, but with a close grip. And then I did that for 3 rounds. Then I went wide for another 3 rounds. Then I did a lat pull down into a run. Then I end off on isolation. So the design of the program isn't just doing it half-assed. There's intent behind it. My intent is to get a good pulling day. I like to get between 9 to 15 working sets. If you're doing more than 15 sets, you're either on steroids or you're not training that hard. So if you're doing like a good 15 total set, that's a hell of a back day. And that would be more advanced. So for a beginner, you can do the same program, you just regress it. So we don't want to go heavy with beginners. And why is that?
Form's more important. Form and technique's better than weight.
Yes, but that's one definitely big reason. But what else? What's the big one?
So they're
To
not.
also strengthen the soft tissue, tendons, ligaments.
And so wide row. What do we do now? The last pull down. 4 pull downs. And endurance. Pull down. Hyper / endurance. It's funny because certain words are made up from other associations. Like NASM will call it the stabilization range, which is not a range. You have strength, you have hypertrophy, you have power and endurance. The difference between power and endurance is the velocity. So power is light but explosive. Endurance is light but it's to fatigue. And so my total sets that I think I did 4 here, and then I did 4 or 5 here. So I did a total of 15 sets. Now, this wouldn't be appropriate for a beginner because I need to strengthen connective tissue. I need to focus on movement comp, which is neuromuscular communication. That's just how to do it. Notice when I'm doing my cable rows here, I'm driving with my elbow. I'm not going through my traps. The common mistake with beginners is they'll come and then they'll drive through their traps. When you look at the checkpoints of movement, my neck is going forward. Is that optimal? No. I'm something that I've always been doing and I'm trying to get better, but I'm not going to drop the weight significantly and have perfect neck form, because it's not putting my body into a precarious situation. I would never tell anyone either that, oh, you're going to hurt your neck from doing that. No, it's just you're constantly improving. If you look at the top powerlifters in the world, they have coaches who are helping them. No one's perfect. And so when I look at designing, so this is kind of like when I talked in the story, is our case example for the week is a girl, 36 years old. Why are we settling for 2 to 3 sessions per week? And I have my own reasons, I believe. I think it has to do a lot with the fact that trainers are certified, they're not qualified, and they're told to do 2 or 3, yet so they settle for it. Yet, ironically, I don't know it personally, and this is not a knock to anyone here if this is you, but I don't know any trainers who work out 2 or 3 times a week. Everyone that I'm around, at least, they're working out between 6 to 15, as high as 20 times a week. It's not to say you have to do that, but I'm going to let my clients know when I communicate, set realistic expectations, that you came to me because you want my arms or you want my back or whatever it is. That's how it is. It's just a realistic aspect. I want to look like you. I want to feel younger, whatever. I'm attracted to your energy and everything about fitness within your realm. So I want to be like you. Well, I train X amount. So I don't want to say that you're going to get in amazing shape by working out 2 or 3 times. I'm going to set really clear expectations that you want to look like X. Well, this is what it's going to take. I'm going to suggest we work out 6 times per week. And it's okay to set that expectation. Some people may disagree. That's all right as well. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to negotiate. I've had clients I've trained 6 times a week. And guess what happens to them?
They get in really good shape.
Phenomenal shape very quickly. We're talking 4 to 6 weeks, where other people 6 months, 9 months, sometimes years, because they'll get a package of 12. They'll train 1 time. They'll train 2 times the next week. They'll mix the next week. They'll train 1 time. Tyler, one of our trainers in La Jolla, he's working on growing the business there. And he had a kid who he was working with, 24 years old, 16 years old, 24 sessions that he bought. It took him over 8 months to get through. That's 3 sessions per month. You can't expect amazing results. And so as I'm working with Tyler, I said, that's all right, but we need it to be very clear with the dad who's buying the sessions for him that consistency is key. And so I understand you can't afford 6. What can you afford? 4. Awesome. That's what we're going to stick with. We're going to train on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. And if you're consistent for a month, here's what I'm willing to do. I will give you 1 complimentary training session with me per month. Normally that would be an extra $50. I have my clients, I choose the best ones who are in the best shape. They get a workout with me on Saturday and Sundays. I don't let everyone do that because no offense, I don't want people holding me back. And the workouts aren't just kind of, oh, it's social. It's we get after it and we have a hell of a workout. And so how this would work for a client is your warm up would be 3 to 5 minutes. That's all right. So maybe you do some, go through those 9 checkpoints, get into a deep squat, some rotations. You're helping them prep for the workout. Social media can be very polarizing because, and it's fun. I get a kick out of it. I can say something on there like warming up's stupid, but I'm also smart enough to know that when I have a client who's new, I'm not going to get right into the workout. I'm going to warm up with them because psychologically they're not prepared for it. But I also know that the weight's not going to be heavy. So it's not the end of the world if we do get right into it. So if we're doing just a pull day, you do this, you can do a cable row into a bicep curl, into some abs. You're going to do a rep scheme of maybe 12, 10, 10, 12, 10, 8, 15, 12, 10. Even if you get down to 8, it's not the end of the world because the nervous system is really just recognizing the load, the synchronization of it, the motor unit recruitment. So it's not like they're going to be going to volitional fatigue. So you do 3 rounds and then you go and you then do a lat pull down into some more biceps, some more abs. And then here you're going to do like a T-bar row machine into biceps, or you do jump rope, and then you do abs. And then you end off on farmers into straight arm 2 by 10. So here's the advanced workout. Nothing crazy. Here's the beginner workout. It's just regressed. The load is less. The volume will be lighter. It's just going to be 3, 6, 9, 10, 11 sets. If this was someone who was really deconditioned, someone who was really overweight, maybe I would do 3 sets, 2 sets, 2 sets, 2 sets. I will modify based on the conversation with my client. I typically don't put reps on a program when I write it out for a client. Because could you imagine if a client came in and I wrote this out for them, and then they're not able to do that given intensity because they're deconditioned, they're going to feel really bad about themselves. So maybe, not maybe, after round 1, I'm always taking pulses. How are you feeling today? Everything going well? Good? Nice. Got some left in the tank? Good. We're going to do some lat pull down, different. And notice from the single jointed stuff, I just leave it very broad because I like to show my clients new exercises there. Abs, bicep curls. Every bro in the world has done bicep curls. Show him something he hasn't done before. So when I say 2 biceps, it's going to be one that he's used to doing. I'm going to add a variation just to make it unique. Maybe he holds for 10 seconds at the end. Maybe I push down on him. Maybe I have him close his eyes. Maybe I alternate. That's where I'm going to have fun. The abs, that's where I'm going to have fun. Show them something they've never done before. This is where we really get after it. So if you look at how we program, we do core accessory because most of our clients train 2 to 3 times per week. But what about that client who wants to train 5 times? You'll be ready for it. You implement this system, core, accessory. So you choose one pattern. We got push, we have pull, unilateral. So essentially it's chest, back, shoulders, legs. And we can vary that based on the individual and what they're trying to achieve. If it's typically a girl, as I talk about in 150 in the book, I'm going to do lower body more. If it's a guy, I'll do more upper body. You choose. So the main difference with the beginner versus intermediate advanced is the load and the intensity, volume, frequency, intensity. I'm not going to start doing 30 sets the first week. So I wanted to talk about that first. What are some questions you have about this?
Yeah, I have a question, not exactly about that, but kind of the principles in general. I used to work out, like 6 days a week or whatever. And then I've been kind of experimenting with some other programs. And one I'm doing right now, I'm hitting upper body twice a week. And